The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Would You Believe, the final Topic Time show of September. The year is just rolling right by, and what a great year has been for the show. It's just like it just keeps getting better and better. We are conquering new turf today. We are going for the first time to Salt Lake City, where this gentleman is in Utah, the Mormon state. He actually was one, and we're going to talk about that and whatever other things he does. But before we get to him, we're going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton, one number for towing, one number for projects. Always in search of new wheels, scrap metals, anything to do with transportation. My pal Lynchy there in Brockton can handle. We got One Good Credit in Brockton. We have 111 Tattoo Collective in Brockton. We have Eli's Auto Care in Taunton. We have the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, your Second Amendment Freedom Store. We have Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We have the Sweet Piglet Bakery and Cafe in Randolph. We have McGee Annex Used Cars in Rockland. We have Easton Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We have the Rug Resort in Northeastern, cleaning today for a healthier tomorrow, right around the corner. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro and experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. And we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now I'll introduce this young man, Mr. Erik Dyreng. How do you say your last name?
Dyreng.
Dyreng. I'm sorry. I do that all the time. I always letters. Okay. Well, don't worry. When the graphics come up, we'll make sure it's right. Part of the charm of my show is that I don't always get the guest name right, but by the time the show ends, everybody knows who the guest is.
Yeah, you're not the first one to get it wrong, and you certainly won't be the last.
Okay, that's fine. It's a cool name. All right. You're actually the second Erik I interviewed this week. Yesterday, I had a guy named Erik who came down from New Hampshire at my other location and did an in-person interview, but his name was spelled A-R-I-C. Yours is E-R-I-K. That much I did get. Okay. All right. Well, now you live in the mountains of Salt Lake City, Utah, in that area. You told me when we talked and set this interview up that you were a Mormon as a kid, but you're not anymore. So tell me what your life was like as a kid, and then we're gonna roll it forward to what you're doing now and all the things. You know, do you have your own podcast there as well?
Not yet, not quite yet. We're working on something.
Tell me about your childhood out there and what as a Mormon, and then how did that end up ending for you? And then we'll take it from there. Go ahead.
Yeah, growing up, I was in a family of 6 of us in total. There were, it seemed pretty normal for me growing up, just because everyone else around me was also growing up Mormon. It was really when you start leaving the state, you find out that things are a lot different everywhere else.
Oh, no kidding.
For example, like I think it really threw me off the very first time I left the state, went to a grocery store and found out you could just buy alcohol everywhere. Like, oh no, what do I do with this? Like this is a travesty.
Wow.
How could
You mean to say in the Mormon culture you can buy alcohol at any age?
Oh no. I just meant like in Mormon.
Oh, okay. You couldn't buy alcohol at all as a Mormon. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. You have to go basically. In Utah, you have to go to a state-run liquor store in order to find it. And
Oh, okay.
if you're a Mormon, it's very, very, very frowned upon
Okay.
to consume any of that. So just things like that.
The character, as far as I, in my recollection of Mormon of culture, from what I've heard of religion, that the most prominent characteristic of being a Mormon is polygamy, right? Is that true?
It was.
It was not anymore.
Oh yeah. They at some point the government got a little upset with them since
Okay,
they
well,
weren't
I
supposed to
understand.
be doing it. So they said, okay, we're not doing it anymore. And then
Well,
a
you know
few
what it
years
is?
later,
The government is supposed to separate church and state. So whether it's the
yeah,
Mormon church or the Tabernacle Choir, if it's a law that violates the United States law, or even if it's a religious practice, then in all likelihood it's going to be abolished unless enough people get together and go forth and create a petition and get enough votes to keep it enacted. I suppose. I mean, that's what I would think. To be honest with you, polygamy doesn't sound so bad. And for me, especially someone like me who's single as a shingle on a Pringle, but that's me.
yeah, yeah, they came out and said, okay, we're not doing this anymore. And then a few years later, they found out, oh, you didn't actually stop. So they had to say, okay, this time for real, we're stopping. And yeah, so that hasn't been a part of it in a long time, but yeah, that is one of the things people definitely know about it. There
Oh yeah,
are still offshoot factions around that still participate in it, but your your mainstream run of the mill board isn't doing that at this point.
right. Okay. What did you do as a kid aside from that? Living as a Mormon, I mean, did you play sports? Did you aspire to music, do anything like that?
Yeah, as a kid, let's see, I never really got into sports a whole lot. I tried playing a few of them, was not very good at it.
You
Found out
tried
I
what?
didn't really like them. I said I tried playing a few sports, like I tried basketball, I tried soccer,
Okay.
didn't really, was not very good at any of them.
Okay. But
And
yeah, you look athletic. All right. Well, what do you do now exactly? I mean, your Facebook page looked interesting. Sum up in a paragraph or so what you do today, for work, and we'll cover that too. So go ahead.
I currently, I mean, online, I make content that I find funny.
Okay.
Depends on some people may or may not. And I also work for actually right now I work for the postal service, and I I look at pictures of everybody's mail
You-
and make sure it gets to where it needs to go.
Okay.
I have been I have my I've been certified for QA engineering, which I've been looking for a job in as well. So I
Okay.
do coding and things.
So you're a postal carrier.
But uh, sort of. As
Okay.
I sit at a computer and look at pictures of people's mail that have gone through any of the facilities in the country, and if their computer can't read it, I try to.
Okay. What are you saying? You look at what do you do online? What do you do online? You look at pictures of people's mail. Is that it?
So that's what I do for work. um, yeah, as I said, whenever mail gets processed in one of the any of the facilities in the country, if their computer can't read it, then I get a picture of it and try to do it myself.
Okay. All right.
It,
But there's nothing unethical about that, is there? I wouldn't think. Well, I wouldn't know,
no,
but you tell me.
uh, no, I am very much just it's in a controlled environment, so I can't take your information or anything. I'm just pops up for a second, and as soon as I put in the information on the picture, it goes away, and I'll never see it again.
Okay. Now, are you like, do you create art? Do you create stuff online that you send to people as
Oh yeah,
well?
yeah. I tend to generally it's generally image based,
Okay.
and that I create things that I find funny.
Well, tell me
And
about what you create that you find funny. Maybe I'll find it funny too. If not, that's okay,
oh
but I'll
boy,
agree to disagree. But go ahead.
a lot a lot of it is I don't even know how to describe this. It's a lot of it is fairly nonsensical. Um,
I
it's
love nonsense.
yeah, it's
Everything in my life is nonsensical, so I can relate.
fair enough. I, yeah, yeah, it's a lot of uh, I'm trying to think of words that won't get taken off of. the air.
Oh, don't worry about that. Oh, well, you're profane. Okay, that's no problem. We don't need to be
Yeah,
profane here, but I get it.
yeah,
Okay, so you,
yeah. I'm not planning. I'm trying to
no, I
be
understand.
play by the
I
rules.
listen. I don't. I mean, the truth is the FCC doesn't regulate public access television, but we do want to keep the audience happy. We don't want to offend
Yeah,
anybody. So, but it's okay. At least
exactly.
you. I don't think there's anything wrong with being expressive like that. I wish people. I mean, I think we're living in a time now in the late, in the one fourth of the way to the 21st century, where people are a little bit more open to being expressive like that. But there are always going to still be people that find it shocking and offensive. So we gotta cool it a little bit. I mean, someday if
Yeah,
I get a contract with Spotify, like Joe Rogan has, and I won't have to worry about that. But right now, we kind of have to go with the flow with the people and everything, and give the people what they want and like that.
yeah. Don't worry. I got my fingers crossed for that Spotify contract for you.
Well, now a lot of the people I interview have done like films. Have you ever done anything? Have you done any acting, anything like that over the years?
uh, nothing particularly major. I appeared in very random things here and there in the back.
Well,
But
tell me about what they were. They're probably interesting.
have you ever have you ever heard of a band called the Aquabats?
Sounds
They
familiar.
were they were a ska band back in mid to late 90s. They still do stuff today, but
Okay,
they had a uh, oh gosh, probably about a decade ago now. That's weird. They had a TV show called the Aquabats Super Show.
okay,
They they can continue to make new episodes that after it got taken off of cable, they continue to just release new episodes online. And I through a series of random chance, I ended up in one of them
okay,
called I believe it was called The Mauler was the episode.
okay.
And
Is that what your character was in the? How many episodes did you do?
I was in one. I happened to be part of a crowd at an that was at a place where the Aquabats were playing to open up a brand new store, and then that's when the Mauler shows up and ruins everything. Oh
Okay.
no.
What exactly is a mauler? What's that?
He is a giant stone head.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Um, if you've ever seen the movie, an old Sean Connery movie, Zardoz, it looks kind of like the giant stone head in that. If you
Okay,
have any idea what I'm talking about. But definitely a movie with a more of a cult following at this point. It was
okay.
a weird one.
All right. So, well, that's something. I don't. You say it happened from random chance, but I always say everything happens for a reason. So I believe that was meant to happen. And that was the '90s, you
Yeah,
say?
or that's like when they were a band. That episode actually happened probably about 4 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. Not so it wasn't that long ago at all. It was just a couple, just around before 2020, but not that just like 2019,
Yeah,
right?
something around there. Yeah, yeah. It it was just a series of me and my friend happening to run into the singer from the band in a bunch of places, and at the last time he just said, "Oh, hey, we're gonna be filming over here. You want to come down? Bring a buddy with you." And called me up and said, "Hey, let's go."
Okay.
It's
So, but you didn't actually play, I mean, you didn't perform any music yourself with the band, did
oh
you?
no, no, no.
Okay. What are they doing?
I
What are they doing now? Are they still doing? Do they still have the TV show?
Yeah, they still are putting out some new episodes of it online. They are still releasing new music and touring. Saw them play a few months ago out
Okay.
here in Salt Lake.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right. So are they from Utah? Are they from your area?
they are from Southern California. They
Oh,
they do have I know a lot of them have family out here, so they're here a lot, but
okay.
they're from California.
Okay. Well, tell me about your family. I mean, do you have wife, kids, or anything like that, or you have?
No, I don't have. I'm not married. I don't have kids, but
Okay.
I grew up with three sisters.
Okay.
Uh, all of them are married and have kids. There's a billion what feels like a billion nephews and nieces running around all the time. I
Well,
live
that must
with
be nice having a big family of kids. As long as they're not
Yeah.
yours, that you have to take
Oh
care of
yeah,
them
it's
all the time.
great. They once they start causing problems, I just pawn them off onto their parents, and it's great. So
That's that's
I get
exactly
to have
right.
fun. Yeah, I get to have fun when they're in a good mood, and then as soon as that stops, they're not my problem anymore.
Well, I get that you're kind of a free spirit. Are you planning on starting a podcast? Because I think you'd be great at it.
Oh, thank you. I've had a few ideas floating around. One of them I have been putting together, working on figuring out details on is actually about Mormonism.
Okay.
The I tentatively titled Lazy Learners, which is a play on a phrase that was used by the current president to describe people that are leaving the church as they clearly are lazy learners and lax disciples if they are
Wow.
leaving, is what he called them once. So just embracing that. So I guess I'm a lazy learner if I'm looking too far into things.
Okay. Wow. So, so basically, you're going to be talking. You're going to be. I mean, if you started a podcast, you got some ideas for political topics and things like that, just to get it going.
Yeah, I got at least that one. I have that one. Me and I have a couple more
Well, tell me
comedy
about the other
bits.
ones you have.
There's one of them was a I guess, a sort of movie review that's in the works. There's another one that I don't have far enough along I want to say much about,
Okay.
but I think we got something fairly solid there. It seems kind of unique, but
Okay.
I don't want to get too much on that one before we know if it's going anywhere.
Okay. Well, you don't want to get too much. Do you have friends that do podcasts in your area?
Uh, oh, yeah, I do have a few. They tend to not quite be the same types of things I'm going to be doing. They're more
Okay.
of a serious topics, whereas I'm going to have a lot more fun with things than a lot
Well,
of a
well,
lot of
when
the
you, what do
people
you,
I know that do.
the reason I'm asking is because when I want to know is, do you ever participate in your friend's podcast? You know, just as a guest or as a caller or something, or just as a participant, just to go in and talk about whatever it is they're talking about, and just throw ideas against the wall, basically.
Yeah, not with the people I happen to actually know around. I Yeah, as I said, there's a few of them I know do actually do things related to Mormonism, but they're far more serious than my personality and takes on it would
Yeah, I
go
get
with.
that. Okay. Are you artistic artistic? Can you draw? Have you ever
Oh,
tried?
artistic.
Yeah, that's what I
Uh,
meant to say. I meant to say artistic, not autistic. I'm autistic.
yeah. So yeah, I I draw. I used to do a lot of painting and things, whereas that hasn't happened so much as of late. But I like to play music. I I used to play drums a lot.
Okay.
I haven't really been able to do much of that in a while, just because of living situations.
Okay.
Doesn't really allow for being super loud whenever I feel like.
Well,
But I picked up ukulele a little while back and play a lot of
okay.
that since that's much easier to manage.
What I'm getting at is I'm wondering if maybe I'm looking at you and I'm seeing maybe the possibility you could be like an animated illustrator, create like a cartoon or something that you could do online. It would be pretty sweet, pretty funny to
That
push forth your ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like have
yeah,
create characters that you might be able to put into an an animated form online and maybe find voices for them as well.
yeah. I actually, for a while, I was going to school for animation.
Or you were. Tell me
I
about the school. What school was it?
I was going to Weber State University out in Ogden, out this way,
Okay.
for a little while. As it didn't last terribly long because then I ended up finding other routes and life happens and
Oh, I know.
caused roadblocks. But
Well, was that the only education you had past high school, or did you do other things for
uh,
education?
yeah, I eventually went on and did more with coding and yeah, so I have all my certifications for being a quality assurance engineer,
Okay.
so I can just people make programs or websites, and I have the certification to find out how to break them, and
Uh,
that's
to
that's
break
what
them?
I
You mean like hack?
yep,
Hack? You mean like you're a
yeah,
hacker?
basically, it's just find places where they're, yeah, where they're not necessarily secure or, just find any sort of bugs. I just poke around at it and look for those, and yeah, and find ways that yeah, find things that they weren't anticipating, that break their whole system. And that's my job, is just find things that break their stuff and so that they know what to fix.
Oh, okay. So
And
you're an online repair guy.
eh, sure,
Okay.
yeah, sort of.
Well, I could see. It's funny. I mean, the more I talk to you now, the more and here here you kind of like loose leaf personality. I think you could probably create your own animated character based on your life. It would probably do very well. You get a lot of on YouTube and stuff. You could probably get a lot of views for it.
Definitely something to consider.
I'd call myself, if I were you, I'd say I'd call myself, man of my mountain here, like the mountain behind you, the one where is
Ah,
that
yeah,
place? That's right behind,
that
that's
is
Salt Lake behind you, isn't it?
no, that is definitely not. That is, actually in I just have it's a picture I took when I was in Florida a couple of years back at
That's
it's in
Florida.
Disney
That's not
World.
Utah. Wow.
It's in Disney World. It's the Avatar land in Disney World.
Well, you could have fooled
So,
me. Okay. All right. Well, have you traveled around the country at all? Like, to promote anything like to the West Coast or to the East Coast? Obviously you went to Florida
not for any sort of promotional,
just for vacation, right?
venture. Yeah, I just barely got back from California last night. I was out there. Yeah, I've been to Florida a handful of times in the last several years. Uh, yeah, I mean, I like to travel around,
Okay. Yeah.
but
So
yeah, I don't.
have you been here to New England before?
I think I've made it up as far as I think Pennsylvania. It's
Okay,
probably
that's not New England.
yeah, I think that's as far up there as I've made it, so not quite.
Okay. All right. Well, so what are you currently working on now? Anything new, anything creative that you want to talk about?
As I currently, I think just kind of as I mentioned, I have a podcast currently in the that I'm working on. It's attentively called the Lazy Learners. I
Okay.
I know I wanted to do something that was about Mormonism. It because a lot of what is out there is either stuff for people that were a part of it and have a background in it already, or is very completely serious run through the history. But I wanted to go in with something that people who had no idea could start with, and also uh, take not as seriously as a lot try to. I know there are good reasons to want to be sensitive in delivering this information, especially when you're from Utah.
Right.
But yeah, I want to have fun with it because a lot of it is very silly, even if
I'm sure it
yeah,
is.
even if a lot of people don't like to think of it that way.
Okay. Guess what, Eric? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I definitely enjoy talking to you.
I can't believe it made it go by so fast. It seemed like
Yeah,
it seemed like it was just in a blink of an eye.
yeah, I didn't realize that we were already this far in.
And my
Uh,
tech guy, he's timing it here. He saw it. He gave me one of these.
Sweet.
So like I said at the beginning, what I want you to do is look at your image thing there and give some shouts out to people, and then we'll wrap the show up with my music the way we began it. So go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, as I say, a lot of if you've run across me places, you may recognize the name of the Great Sea Moose. Um, that's and usually how people know me online.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Carl Hamburger
Oh yeah,
from
that's right.
Movie
You saw it.
Podcasts.
Okay.
I know, yeah, love that guy. He's great. That's how I learned about you in the first place and became a fan.
Oh, that's
So
swell.
gotta shout him out.
Okay.
Gotta
I appreciate it, and so will he.
and gotta give a shout out to Paco. He'll know.
Okay. Well, you did a great job. So if now, is there anything coming up on the horizon that's, that that you may have thought that you didn't think about that you want to mention before we wrap the show up? Anything at all coming up?
Uh, nothing worth nothing. I think that's about. I think I've covered all my bases as far as that
Okay.
goes.
All right. Well, what I expect from you is some more creative stuff. Possibly, try to create maybe an animation of using yourself as a main character and see if you can parlay it into something successful. And I'll bet you'd be great at it.
I'm, with a ringing endorsement like yours, I bet
Well,
I could
believe
get
me, I'll be
something.
following. I'll be watching for you. I'll be watching for your success too. So it
All
won't, it
right. Well,
won't, it won't go on. It won't go on seen. Believe me, I would not let that happen. And then when it does go viral, I will assist in any way to quadruple that,
all right.
and then some. So
I'll
it'll be
do
great.
that.
All right, Eric, you did a great job. You ready to wrap the show up with a snap in the way we began
All
it?
right. Yeah, I'm ready to snap like nobody's snapped before.
When we hold up, I want a question. So when we finish up, I'm going to ask if it's okay if my tech guy takes a picture of us on the Zoom screen, and I'll tag you in it.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
also, if you have any friends that watch the show that want to do it, have them contact me. You have my digits now. We'll get them on either by Zoom or in person. It would be awesome. That's getting more show guests from word of mouth than ever before.
Awesome.
All right, Eric, we're going to wrap the show up. Okay, folks, September's over. See you guys in October. We're wrapping it up. Over and out. See.